Waycross presents an election forum for Springfield Township Trustee. There are 3 candidates running for 2 open seats. The candidates are, in alphabetical order, Mark R. Burning, Megan M. Doherty, Joe Hunterlaw.
Welcome to another Waycross election forum. This forum is for Springfield Township Trustee. I'm Dana Gagnon, Government Programming Coordinator for Waycross Community Media, and we have in our studio 2 of the candidates. We have Megan Doherty and we have Joe Hunterlaw. Now, Mark Burning was invited, but he was unable to attend this evening. Now, we're going to start with the candidates' 2-minute opening statement. But before we go there, I want to take a minute to say that if you are watching this program live while we are airing it for the first time on October 6th, then you can be part of the program. You can email your questions for the candidates to me here in the studio. The email address for that is live@waycross.org. And if you send that only on October 6th to me during the program, I will get it here and I can ask the candidates your questions. So before, however, we go to the iPad and see if we have any questions, let's start with our 2-minute opening statements. Oh, I should take a minute to let the viewers know. There are some rules for those questions. I should probably let the viewers know what those are. Those rules are that you must be a Springfield Township resident to send in your question, which means when you send in your question, make sure your name and your Springfield Township street are included in that email. Now, I'm not going to read your last name or your street address on the air. It's just so that we can make sure that the questions for Springfield Township candidates come from real, actual Springfield Township residents. All questions must be phrased for both candidates, not targeted at one in particular. Okay, now that we've covered those things, let's do our 2-minute opening statements. And let us start with you, Megan.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Megan Doherty. I'm running because I have a deep passion for this community. I was born in this community and I've been in and out of it my whole life. And when it came time to buy my first house, I knew this is where I wanted to live. I was raised that if you had the ability to help, you should. And that's part of the reason I'm running. As a professional, I'm an architect who's worked across the country, building and developing and helping people achieve dreams in their cities. And it's time to bring that knowledge home. If there's anyone that knows how to manipulate a zoning code, how to make sure we're set up for the future, it's me. And that's why I'm interested in running for Springfield Township Trustee.
Excellent. Okay, now, same for you now.
Thank you. My name's Joe Hunterlaw, and I'm asking for your vote this November 2nd because local elections are important and they do impact all of us. As a Springfield Township trustee with many years of experience, I understand that it takes dedication, experience, and collaboration to build a strong future for our community. I'm a resident who both lives and works in Springfield Township, and I'm committed to listening to our residents, addressing their concerns, and providing best-in-class safety services. We also focus on providing economic development for all our residents.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for being here in the studio today to be part of this process. We already have some questions coming in via email, so thank you for that. So our first question is from Kendall, and Kendall would like, and we're going to start with you, Mr. Hunterlaw, and we'll have 2 minutes to answer this question. What is the township doing to promote economic development?
Well, that'll be hard to do in 2 minutes, but one of the things we did probably 15 years ago is we adopted a local zoning code so that we could take control of local zoning issues in Springfield Township. We're very much centered towards fostering economic development. Some of the things that we have just put into place or are in place currently is Christ Hospital just built a medical center on Winton Road in Finneytown. My Cozumel restaurant reopened. Tri-Health is been approved and they're building a 55,000 square foot medical office complex on Galbraith Road near Ronald Reagan. And we also have Chick-fil-A that is going to be coming to, I see that. We have Chick-fil-A that is coming also to the Brentwood area. And finally, there is negotiations going on for City Barbecue wants to open a restaurant in Springfield Township. There are other developments that are maybe not quite far enough along to talk about publicly, but there is a lot happening in Springfield Township, and I think we're going to see a lot of new things in the next actual couple of months.
Excellent. How about Ms. Doherty? How about you?
So it would be hard for me to comment exactly on what the township is doing now, as I'm not a current trustee. However, I can talk about what I would like to see happen. And it's true, we're getting a lot of new developments in the Finneytown area. However, I'd like to make sure that we're spreading that development out into some of the islands like Pleasant Run Farms and some of the other areas that don't maybe feel they get as much attention from the current administration. And it's important we focus on those areas because Springfield Township is a large landmass. It's a challenge, undoubtedly, but we can accomplish it. We can get there and we can develop. And I want to make sure, and I want to do a deep dive in our zoning code to make sure that we're set up to pull things for the future, that we're focusing on sustainable development, that we're going to have some green focus, not to the point where we're going to deter businesses, but where we're going to be focused on making sure we're not impacting the environment negatively in the future. I also want to make sure that we're not just pulling in chain businesses, but we're focusing on minority-owned and small independent businesses. You know, my parents are both small business owners, and I've seen how that can impact the support of a township or their community can make them successful, and I want to make sure that I can provide that to any small businesses that would like to come into Springfield Township. You know, we really are the center of it all. Our location is optimal for any young professional, any small business to be in. We're so close to downtown, we're close to the suburbs, we're in a prime location for development, and we just need to focus on that strongly in all of the township and making sure that we're going to have a strong economic future.
Excellent, thanks. So Kendall sent me a question, and we have some more coming into my electronic device here. If you are watching this program live on October 6th, you can also send me questions. That email address is live@waycross.org, and we have that live on October 6th. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, I have a question for the trustee candidates too, just make sure that they are directed to both candidates and not at one particular, and you can send it on to me. We have another question here from Kendall, so I'm going to ask that one too. And this time we are going to start with you, Ms. Doherty, and this will also be a 2-minute question. Kendall is concerned about the roads and would like to know what your efforts would be to repair or resurface roads.
I couldn't agree more. Getting onto Ronald Reagan sometimes feels like an off-road course, and I know that's frustrating. And I happen to live in a neighborhood where they have improved the roads and they've been repaved. It's important for viewers to understand that if the road has striping, it's not technically the responsibility of Springfield Township. However, I strongly believe that squeaky wheel gets the grease, and I am ready to be that squeaky wheel in Hamilton County to make sure our county roads are properly maintained and we're getting improvements on there. I think that we're doing a great job in some of the neighborhoods, and I know there's a plan for expansion. I'm sure Mr. Honorlaw will talk about that further, that we're trying to keep the township roads at the best conditions we can, but I firmly agree that the county roads need work, and we need to be pushing the county to focus on our area.
Okay, excellent. Mr. Honorlaw?
Megan, I'll agree with you on Galbraith Road. There's a section there which is a county road. There is a section right as you're getting onto Ronald Reagan that is very rough. The county engineer is pledged as part of the redevelopment of that part of the road, along with some other LTIP dollars that we got to repair. That whole section of Galbraith Road is going to be replaced. The biggest thing, though, that we did quite a few years ago is because we have a very small road budget, and we went to the voters 4 times and asked them for more money, and they said no. And so one of the things that we did is we said, we got to change our whole philosophy on roads. And what we've done is, rather than to let a road become, more deteriorated where it takes a lot more money to fix it, we're doing reclamation projects where we maybe go in and put a thin We call it it's micro surface. There's different products that we're using to try and rejuvenate the roads, keep them going longer. And one of the things that Springfield Township, I think before any other township in the community or in the state has done, is we started an individual process where we said, let's go neighborhood by neighborhood. We bring all the people to the township, explain to them, and we say, if you will agree to put a assessment on your home for the next 5 years, usually this is $40 to $70 a year, we will come in and repair your streets this year. And it's been incredibly popular. Every single neighborhood where we've done this, the residents have voted almost unanimously to do it. And in the last 5 years, we've repaved 120 out of our 400 streets.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much for answering Kendall's question. And if you are also watching, and I know I just said this, but if you're watching and you have a question for the candidates, you have to be watching when we're live on October 6th. But if you are, send your email to live@waycross.org. I will say, if you send a question that's only for someone who is existingly in office, that's not even a word, but it's going to be difficult for candidates to answer that. So think about that when you're sending your question. Remember, the rules are they have to be something that can be aimed at both candidates that we have in the studio. And I appreciate your participation. What I want to do, and let's see, we will start with you, Ms. Doherty. What I want to do is ask you what you think the top 3 issues facing Springfield Township are right now. And we'll do 3 minutes for this. Okay. And go ahead.
So I think the one top issue, which we've kind of touched on already, is just the economic development. You know, we pay very high taxes in Springfield Township. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. And we want to make sure that what we're spending those tax money on is the most effective way possible, and that the more businesses we bring into the township, the lower the burden is going to be on the homeowner when the tax bill comes. So we really need to focus on that development and bringing new businesses into the area, creating jobs in the area. That would be my number 1 focus, and that's my primary area of expertise, being an architect. However, my second area, I think, is more unique in that the school districts in our areas tend to be more struggling. They maybe don't have the best reputation. And I don't agree with that rating system. However, they're all facing similar problems. And I've already started working with the various school board candidates to make sure that we're going to form a coalition that's going to work on these issues together. Because when you fix the school boards, when the school boards are achieving at their highest levels, it means the whole neighborhood improves. You know, the children are our future. They are the ones that are going to grow the township. Hopefully they stay and keep their talents in the township. And we want to make sure that we're doing the best we can for them. So I want to focus on organizing and being a catalyst for those school boards to work together and focus on the issues at hand instead of working independently, because the more creative ideas we bring to the table, the better we're all going to be. And my third issue is the separation of the township, the different islands and areas that don't feel like they're connected. And this is a similar strategy to the school boards. You know, previously each neighborhood had their own neighborhood groups, and I believe we are down to basically Pleasant Run Farms is the only one with an active group. I believe Finneytown had one, and recently they've had some issues getting it staffed. And I really want to go into these neighborhoods, activate the residents to start their own neighborhood coalitions so that we can come together. They can have a force in the township meetings, have more attendance at the township meetings, so we make sure we're addressing the issues of all residents.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to ask you that same question. What are the top issues facing Springfield Township?
From a budgetary point of view, and this is also one of our statutory duties as a board of trustees, is to provide roads to the residents. Actually, townships are two main statutory duties are roads and cemeteries. And we have a large number of roads that need repair. One of the biggest impetus we've had in our administration is to go out and obtain as many state dollars as we possibly can through grants. In Springfield Township, over the last 5 years, we've obtained over $7 million in state grants, more than any other jurisdiction in Southwest Ohio, for our size. And so that's been something that we've been able to take that money, put it with our local tax dollars, and really leverage the amount of roads that we can get improved. You can't have a good neighborhood if the roads are falling apart. So that is one of our big things. Economic development is very important. I agree, the more economic development we can have, the better it is for the sustainability of the township, our finances, and trying to keep taxes from going up. And we've done that by promoting new opportunities for home ownership. In Pleasant Run Farms, Christo Homes is working on a development right now where the old school used to be, and we work very hard with the school district to make that land available, and so there now are new homes and opportunities for residents to move into Pleasant Run Farms. And then the third is there's a whole list of things that we're trying to do to make better cultural opportunities for all our residents. We have the Arts Connect program that we're running through the community center. We were able to renovate the community center and the Grove facility using TIF dollars, so we didn't have to reach into the general fund and tax dollars to do that. And those are many of the projects that we have in the township.
Excellent, thank you. I'm getting all kinds of questions about economic development, so I know that the residents of Springfield Township, they want to know about the different neighborhoods, and I think it's been brought up. It's an area that has lots of different neighborhoods. I do have a question from Monica that mentions that Finneytown has had such incredible streetscape projects over the years. However, communities such as Pleasant Run remain ignored to the point we lost our grocery store. Do you have a plan to bring up communities like Pleasant Run Farms, Edmonton, and others? We're coming to the end, but I want to make sure we give Monica's question at least a minute to give her a quick answer about those other areas. And we are starting with Mr. Hornelaw this time.
Well, Springfield Township does consist of a number of different, what people sometimes refer to as islands. And one of our, in providing the high quality safety services that we have, one of the things that we've done is contracted with other departments, whether it has been Coleraine, whether it's been the city of Cincinnati, Fairfield, Forest Park, to provide fast safety services into those areas. We are working on a project right now. We have actually in Pleasant Run Farms, we have taken a lot of money from our Community Improvement Corporation that we formed to renovate their pool and some of the recreational facilities there. We renovated Crutchfield Park in West College Hill. There's numerous things that we've done throughout the township, but those are some of the things going forward. It's sometimes a little difficult to hit every single area because we are spread out so much, but there's no one area that gets left out compared to the rest of the township.
Okay. How about your answer for that?
So this is something, again, where I think having the neighborhood coalitions built up and having each independent neighborhood have their own representatives and having an open dialogue with them is going to make a huge impact in making sure that they feel connected, that they feel adequately represented. You know, I have the great benefit of I live in sort of the Finneytown-Wintonwood corridor, and it's great, and I agree. They've spent a lot of money. You know, I remember it when I was a kid, and it's come a long way. And we need to start looking at pinpointing those areas in other parts of the township that need the development. You know, as an architect, I've worked with developers my whole career. I've developed everything from restaurants to malls to housing. And so I know what a developer's looking for. I know how to woo them when they come to a zoning meeting or come to a township trustee meeting to make sure that, one, we're getting out of them what we want so that they're building what the community needs, but also, you know, they're meeting their goals. So there's a negotiation back and forth that I have spent a lot of my years working on, and I'm ready to bring those skills to Springfield Township to make sure that I'm negotiating the best deals for them.
Excellent. And thank you, Monica, for sending us your question. I can't believe that this has gone so fast, But I want to make sure, and I have a whole other list of questions that I would like to keep asking. I do want to make sure that we get a chance so that you can each do your 2-minute clothing statement. So I'm going to start with you, Megan.
So I've really appreciated the time. This is my first time running for a public office, so it's very exciting for me. I would encourage anyone that has sent in a question to check out my website, contact me. I'm happy to discuss and get your creative ideas. That's why I'm running. I want to bring some new life into the township. I want to bring some new ideas. You know, I'm all about a creative solution. I am about working on a team. Right now, we have a lot of one-sided representation on the board, and so I would like to bring in some varying views. I really feel that the stronger we are is when we have a mix of views, a mix of opinions, and we're forced to come up with creative solutions. And that's what I want to do for the township. So I am just excited to be able to have the opportunity to represent, and I hope that you will vote for Megan D. on November 2nd. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Honala.
Thank you. Along with Christy Dukes Davis, Mark Burning, and myself, we're a solution-focused team that puts the best interest of our whole community above partisan politics. We always have. There's no place for that in Springfield Township. We're committed to delivering services that positively impact each and every one of our residents, no matter where you live in the township. And those services include advanced training for our EMS, fire, police, and service departments. We have invested in the best people and the best technology to keep you and your family safe. Additionally, our parks, community center, and cultural programs have been an important part in our agenda in making Springfield Township a place where people want to come and bring their families and for businesses to relocate. Over the next couple of weeks, as we're moving towards this election, you're going to hear more from us. Please look at our website, Facebook page, and you're going to be hearing more about some of the very specific steps that we're going to be taking moving forward. There are some very exciting projects I think will be introduced in the next couple of weeks, including one involving Warder Nursery. But due to this is the fastest 30 seconds and in TV, and on behalf of myself and Mark Burning, who couldn't be here tonight, we would appreciate your vote this November 2nd. Thank you.
Thank you. And yes, I did want to take so much more time to talk about so many more things, but I will take a minute to thank you for joining us this evening. I want to thank you for watching, because that means you want to be an informed voter on November 2nd. If you need more information before you vote in the upcoming election, you can watch all of our election forums. They are online at www.waycross.tv. You can also go to the Hamilton County Board of Elections website to make sure you are registered, to look at a sample ballot, and to find out where your voting location is. You will find that at votehamiltoncountyohio.gov. Registration to vote in this election ended October 4th. Early voting has already begun. You know that voting day is November 2nd. So I'm Dana Gagnon, Waycross Government Programming Coordinator, and I will see you at the polls on November 2nd.